Hello there. My name is Dan Rubino. I am the co-founder and CEO of ImpactWayv, and this is one of the many in a series of podcasts that ImpactWayv we've been doing over the last couple of months, and we're really proud to bring together an esteemed collection of people. But to tell you a little bit about ImpactWayv first, so this is part of an ImpactWayv podcast series. And ImpactWayv, as the audience knows, is an alternative to existing social media. It's designed to be a healthier and more meaningful alternative to social media. And its function is basically to unite businesses, people, and not for profits throughout the world on a social media platform. And the podcast that we're doing today is very, very special to me. Number one, we usually do these podcasts from our base in New York City. Today, I have the good fortune of being in Las Vegas, Nevada. We've been invited to the NFL draft, and I'm excited to be here with a few colleagues over the next couple of days. And I wish you were here with me. But it's going to be a terrific couple of days. The people that we have with us today, two remarkable individuals. And I think you know both of them. One in particular is Darryl McDaniels, Darryl D.M.C. McDaniels. He is the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. And together with his colleague and co-founder, Sheila Jaffe, who is an Emmy-Award winning caster in the entertainment field. It's what we all need to get into the movies, and she could actually speak to this in great detail. But I wanted to say hello to them and thank them for being here. So, Darryl, good morning,
Good
and
morning.
Sheila, good morning.
Hi.
To have a casting director and a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer on our podcast is a real treat for us, especially as it relates to the phenomenal work that you're doing with the Felix Foundation, which is close to my heart, close to the heart of everybody associated with ImpactWayv. So what I'd love to do is there's so many things to talk about, right, with what you're doing and both your lives and how you've developed over the last 10, 20, 30 years in connection with your lives and how that sort of dovetailed into the Felix Foundation. I'd love to talk a little bit about the origins of the Felix Foundation, about your involvement and where you see it headed over the next 5, 10, 20 years. So first of all, good morning, and it's great to have you here. And, maybe, Darryl, you could take it from the top, give us an idea, and then we'll flip it over to Sheila.
Well, about 16 years ago, I found out that I was adopted when I was 35 years old, which was a huge, traumatic, shocking, life-changing revelation. And so, along with that came a lot of emotions. So that revelation kind of put me into the place of all of the children that the Felix Organization work with. I started thinking, why this, why that, how come, what does that mean? Who's my mother, who's my father, why me, what's the matter with me, why did they give me up, and all these craziest emotions. So plain and simple, like anybody that goes through anything, you know what I'm saying, especially in this age of mental health awareness right now, I was totally wrecked, demolished, confused, anxiety, everything just hit me all at once. And I felt so alone. So it happens that somebody I had met knew Sheila and saw me in my condition. And the beautiful thing about it, this person did what everybody needs to do when somebody's going through something, a struggle. He said, I can't possibly imagine what you're going through, but there's somebody I think you should meet. Maybe it can help you out. Because a week earlier, Sheila was with this person and they were doing their business or whatever. And Sheila had mentioned that she was kind of down in the dumps from searching for her birth parents. She knew she was adopted and she was on this search for her birth parents. And every time she would get a lead or get an in, it was a disappointing outcome. So this guy put two people in the same situation together. And what it did for me, it made me feel like I'm not alone anymore. This is beautiful, a real live adopted person like me.
Yeah.
And that also made me realize if it's me and her, then there must be a bunch of us. But long story short, I got to meet Sheila, and we just sat there, Dan, and we talked about how we felt, about everything that we went through, the good and the bad. And then Sheila, I'll pass it over to her in a minute, she says, we were very fortunate. She was like, we don't like to use that word lucky. We were very fortunate. We was put with people and in situations that allowed us, regardless of our situations, to become the people we were put here to be. And me and Sheila, one of the things we say, a child's situation doesn't define who they are. So we spoke and we said, we gotta do something. We need more Sheilas and Darryls in the world. And then I'll pass it to Sheila. She came up with a brilliant idea that bloomed into the magnificent forest. We started with a seed in a flower pot, and it bloomed into the magnificent forest that we call the Felix Organization.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Sheila, let's hear your perspective on it. That's an amazing story.
It's the same. My perspective is the same, that, you know, I was searching and Darryl had just found out, and we were like these two lost souls trying to find out where we came from, who we were, you know, did we have a birth name? Did we, you know, were our parents married? Were they young?
Right.
Why did they give up on us? You know, it's all those questions adopting. We have so many questions. So Darryl and I spoke, and I agree. Everything he said is how it happened. And we wanted to give back to kids that weren't as fortunate as us, that didn't get taken home. You know, it's random when you're adopted. It's not like, you know, when I hate when people dislike when people say we chose you, because it gives you the image of like you're a head of cabbage or something in the market or a melon, and they're squeezing you to choose you. It's just somebody taking it home, and it's luck of the draw. I could have been laying next to 3 other babies that were put up for adoption, and one of them could have got taken home, and I could have been in foster care for my whole life, or, you know, years ago in an orphanage. So we wanted to do something for those kids that were less fortunate than us. And so Darryl, because he doesn't do anything on a little scale, was like, we started talking about giving to these kids, and we blossomed it into, we wanted to start a city where all these kids would live, and there would be people there taking care of them and going to school. And we were serious.
We were dead serious.
We were like, we thought we could do this. We never thought about who's going to give us the kids. We're just like, we have to do this. We have to help these kids.
We're going to school them. We're going to educate them, give them a place to live. Like, they're going to have friends. They're going to have families. Like, we went, it was a huge, huge vision.
We were excited to say that. And we were excited too, because we found a common goal with each other and a common bond. And so now we wanted to, you know, do so much. So we took meetings. We set up meetings with people to meet us downtown at the Tribeca restaurant. And one by one, and two of them were other adoptees, and one was a business manager, thankfully, because the two adoptees were like, we want to start a city. And they're like, well, okay, we'll try to help you. You know what I mean? They were being very nice and very supportive. But our business manager, who is now on a board of Felix and does all our accounting and everything, has been with us since the beginning, said, I think you should start smaller. Like, I don't think a city is practical. Where are you getting the money? Where's the land? Where are you putting it? And Darryl and I were kind of like two kids who were like, oh, yeah, we have a city. So then the next adoptee we met was on the board of the New York Foundling. And we told her about the city idea. And we said, but the business guy thinks maybe we should start with a camp. And she said, oh, the Foundling has access to a camp that is empty in the month of August.
Mm-hmm.
She sets the meeting up. We go meet the executive director at the time, Bill Bacalini. Handshake deal. He said, this sounds great. I love it. We're going to do it next year. And Darryl and I, this was in May.
Nope,
I think.
we're doing it this year.
We were like, no, we're doing it this year.
Wow, that's amazing. That
And
really is amazing.
And we did. And we started our first Camp Felix. So we didn't do the city, but we give kids the opportunity to be outside and be kids without therapy, without having to pack up their bags in the middle of the night, maybe go to a new home or something where they feel secure for the 1, 2, 3, or 4 weeks that they stay with us.
Yeah.
And now it's grown into, I'm jumping ahead a little, and then Darryl, you could take it from there too, where we see Felix going. So we started with the camp, but there's a need, the camp we have we partner with people in New York and LA. But to do it nationwide, to afford children, it's possible for us to do the camp nationwide because we're not there. So we have a Beyond Camp program where we grant kids, scholarships to do things they want, whether it's music lessons or dance lessons or
whatever
anything like
that.
That we can reach out across the nation to children in foster care. It's such an underserved population that people are not aware of because it's brushed under the rug. And there's so many governmental problems and shortage of funds for children in foster care that people are not aware of it. So
Sheila, it's interesting and to listen to Darryl and you speak. It starts with an idea. It starts with sort of the creativity that you both have. It also starts with the experiences that you've had growing up. And then, that led, and I like to get into this a little bit, that led to remarkable successes individually that you both had. And then it comes full circle. After the remarkable experiences and success, you turn around, you realize what you have in terms of the gifts that you have, and you want to give back to this amazing community. And that's sort of the genesis of the idea. It's almost like sort of being an entrepreneur, creating an organization to really help all the foster kids throughout the nation. It's an amazing accomplishment. So kudos to you guys, but there is a lot there, and I could see where you're headed, because now the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's great that you say that, Dan. That's why we said these children were put here for a specific purpose. And if it wasn't meant for them to exist in this, not just this world, in this universe, and be successful, they wouldn't have been born. So it's deeper than just finding a cause and supporting it. You have to look at yourself personally and realize all your blessings are given to you so you could do this very thing. Like for me and Sheila, it wasn't about the Emmys and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the awards. And it wasn't about being able to, go into the entertainment business. When we were born, we had an assignment. And who we are and where we are because of the people around us prepares us for this.
That's exactly right.
As opposed to us just say, oh, let's do something nice for people. It's the reason why we exist. So by us doing what we're doing, we, without having to write a pamphlet or a book or directions to these children, are automatically, from generation to generation, letting them see their purpose. Or like Sheila said, we asked the kid, what do you want to be when they come to the camp? I want to be a photographer. So for a whole week, you're going to get photography lessons. Oh, what do you want to be? I want to be a dentist. We give them the thing that they already are. And Sheila can attest to this. She can support this. All of our kids that make it to college, they can go on and be scientists and physicists and astronauts and aeronautical engineers. A lot of the children who come to Camp Felix and make it to the university or even to the community college, they change their majors there. And we ask them, why did you change your major from science and from aeronautics? They changed their majors to lawyers, social workers, and judges. And we didn't tell them to do this. And we asked them, why are you doing that? And they took it upon themselves. These kids come to camp at 6, right, Sheila? And they're too old at 16. But at 16 years old, they can come back as paid counselors. So they'll go to college, and we say, why are you doing that? These children upon themselves will say, so I can go back and be a judge, a social worker, or a lawyer, or for the other kids that are coming in after me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're in Hollywood or if you're in the music business or if you're a CEO or you're an athlete and stuff like that. Your awards, your championships, your rings, the jerseys you sell means nothing. The reason why are you there is to allow those kids to do this. Every child can be fortunate.
Yeah.
It's up to us to make that happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I also think it's up to us to expose them to these things. They don't know these things exist. I mean, I remember taking some of the kids out to eat, and when you first take them out, they would only eat, you know, French fries or hamburgers or something familiar. They wouldn't try anything new. And after a while, if you expose people, curiosity, just life to things, they try new things. And I remember the last dinner I had with a group of these young women, they were ordering oysters. I was so excited because it was like they would never have known what
did they like them?
Was. They loved them.
Oh, they did.
They loved them. Yeah.
So,
so
you got to give kids a leg up. And the children of the world and of this country are all our children. It is up to us to take care of them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you didn't give birth to them.
Yeah, and if you don't give them the chance and you open the window and let them know, open the door and let them know they can go through it, you're only, in the end, hurting yourself because they're taking care of us. It's just, you know, it's this circle of life.
Yeah, you know, it's such an enlightened, you know, point of view as far as I'm concerned. You know, you have to sort of give of yourself and be a mentor and be a shepherd and try to, you know, give as much as you can to people who maybe didn't have as much as you guys did growing up, although you guys didn't. And that's, you know, that's the interesting thing. And that's what I'd like to get into, if you don't mind, because I think, you know, most of our audience is really amazed as to how you guys developed from your childhood. And how did you get into the position of being an Emmy-Award winning casting director, or being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or being a founding member of the D.M.C, Run-D.M.C group? How does that happen with the background that you had? I wanted to know. I would have loved to have known. I grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up in Queens. So while I had parents, you know, it was a pretty basic lower class experience for me. And, you know, I wish I had a lot of the connections that you bring to, you know, people. But how did that happen for you to get people in the same position that you are now? Give me a sense of that.
Well, I think, first of all, we're representing all the boroughs except for Staten Island. I'm the Bronx, Queens, and Brooklyn. So,
well, I lived in Brooklyn for a month, and then we moved to Queens.
And you know what? And it's interesting. I've lived in every borough. I've lived in every growing up. It's that kind of existence.
Staten Island? You lived in
Staten Island too.
Wow, we only did ferry there, and never
it actually exists. Staten Island does exist. Yes, forget about Kim Kardashian.
Well, my birth mother is from Staten Island. When I searched for my birth mother and found her in Staten Island, I found.
Oh, is that right?
Mother. Yeah, I searched for my birth mother. She was right there in Staten Island all my life, with 2 brothers and a sister. So
oh my gosh!
I got blood in Staten Island too.
There you go. That's great.
For us borough people, it's kind of like, you know, that movie Saturday Night Fever. Like to look at the bridge, to go over to Manhattan. And if you make it to Manhattan, I grew up in the Bronx, never felt, we used to call it downtown. I know you Brooklyn people called it the city. we're going downtown. But if you make it there, it's like, that's a big deal. It's a big, that bridge is enormous to cross. And
it was a big deal,
right?
Yeah, and I think it's, I don't know, just something.
It's like the bridges of it's like the bridges of life when you trying to figure out how to navigate this world. You know what I'm saying? There's always, the yellow brick road. You go down it to see what's on the other side, and along the way, you meet a lot of people who are just like you. They different struggles. The Tin Man had his issues, and the Scarecrow had theirs, the Lion had theirs. But when you get into this world feeling that the outcast you are, no matter what your race, creed, color, religion is, you realize you got a lot of similarities. And then, like what me and Sheila's doing, people see that you have some potential. Like, one of the things that we hate at the Felix Organization, it's the labels we use to our children. So I guess when I was growing up, if I take it all the way back, the way my teachers spoke to me in first and second grade, for them to call me Mr. McDaniels. Oh, wow. Subconsciously, that does something to you because they're showing you so much respect. So I guess how me and Sheila got where we was destined to do what it is that was in there, but it was always about this. I always tell the young people, there are people put on this earth besides your mother and father, your blood, but people are put on this earth to help get you where you're supposed to go. So for me, it was my teachers. In the other instance, the things that we did, like when Sheila, you was a waitress, right? So you started working with people, and you saw all types of characters every day. We don't realize, and I don't care who you are, from the everyday worker to the person now. When you go through stuff as a young person, everything that you do, from school, schoolyard, backyard, neighborhood, is preparation to prepare you for what it is that you were doing. So when I wasn't writing rhymes to be in the music business. I was writing rhymes because it was fun to me. The same way you played games when you was little. You pretended to be your favorite superhero. You pretended to, girls pretend to be the princess and pretend to, you know what I'm saying? So I was just pretending to be somebody that might make records. I didn't even want to make records. I was just pretending that I was already making records. So when Run met me, we went to the same school. That's what we had in common. And then he was already in the business because his brother Russell Simmons was already managing and running the music business before Rappers Delight was on records, was a music business. And Russell was one of those early, like you said earlier, Dan, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We're in the business of life, but your business should mirror everything that you do for people. So when Run saw I had rhymes, I was basically prepared. And he just said, D, he didn't know. He said, whenever my brother lets me make a record, I'm bringing you along. Yeah. And he said that to me in 9th grade. We went to different high schools. But when he got his chance, he remembered the kid that was writing rhymes. Yeah. So that's why we always tell our kids, don't be afraid to speak up. Like Sheila says, it's about giving them the opportunity. A kid that never left the street of New York, take them to the opera. They might be writing operas or performing concierge. So to answer your question, Dan, it's all about experience and opportunity. Yeah. And every child, no matter how rough their life is, they have something in them that will not just make their lives better, everybody who experiences them will make it better too. And it helps that at Camp Felix, these kids are labeling themselves, I'm a foster kid, I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to be in poverty, when they see other kids, they realize the only thing that's different from me and other kids is that I'm in the foster care system. But I, myself, I'm perfect just the way I am. So it's about experience. Like Sheila, we had to cross that. You had to get on that train and go downtown.
Go downtown,
Go downtown.
I think the fact that we grew up in New York, you're exposed to so much. And I learned so much from my father, who would, like, we didn't have money or anything, but if he knew, like, the teenage boys across the street wanted to go to Yankee Stadium and they didn't have the money, he'd buy them tickets. He would just do things like that. So I learned by his example at an early age how important it is to give and how good you feel when you give to somebody. These kids that are involved in Felix come back and want to work for Felix or volunteer to help at the events, or which I hope you're going to be in town to come to, Dan, because our volunteers are amazing. It's May 15th. So, we're going to have this walk event. And when they do that, it makes you get so much more from the joy that these kids have. And when you see them blossom and grow into people that want to, as Darryl said, become social workers or judges or help other people.
Or care about everybody. Yeah.
I think there's a thing with foster kids and adoptees that we have a similar thread. And I think part of the reason why we want to be successful, unconsciously even, is to prove our worth. You gave up on us, but no, we're still standing and we can accomplish things. And that's I know we used to have these adoption groups in, like a chat, Darryl and other adoptees, and we have that common thread. We're not enough. We don't trust that we're enough.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing thing that you're doing. And, we've done a lot of work with a lot of different organizations throughout the United States, but you guys are really hitting it home. And the one thing that from a personal perspective that I've seen is, most of these kids, what they don't have, unfortunately, and I didn't have growing up, is, you can do this. All right. You give them the experience, you show them what it is. But a lot of them just don't appreciate the fact that, as you said before, Darryl, it's in them. All you got to do is just do it. You could be anything that you want to be. It's almost a cliche, but at the same point in time, it's very, very important for anyone's development, especially, kids through the foster care system. Yes, indeed, you can become anything. Just go out and do it. And you need one or two sparks in your life to make sure that happens. Obviously, you guys have done it.
Yeah, but it's like what Darryl said. It's labels. Like if you label foster care underprivileged.
Right.
Or I was given up for adoption. It's labels like that. The word given up, just like when you define yourself as that, it's like you're defeated. So
somebody gave me up, so I'm gonna give up on myself.
Exactly.
We don't want to call them underprivileged.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of saying underprivileged, let's say these are children of great potential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They'll be like,
exactly.
I am.
It's like I used to do this thing to send children in New York in foster care to Broadway plays. And they would have, I would ask all my friends to donate to buy tickets, but it had to be orchestra seats because I didn't want them to be, oh, look, there's the poor kids, the poor foster kids in the balcony. They're all the way back. They had to be sixth row orchestra. And that could open their eyes. Like they went to see The Lion King. So somebody could look, like Darryl said, oh, my God, I could make those costumes, or I could be an actor, or I could be this, and to keep people's dreams alive. Because if we don't have our dreams and our hopes and our aspirations, what do we have at the end?
Yeah, what do we have? Right.
Yep.
Amazing. Now, if we can, let's spend a few more minutes on the Felix organization itself. And we spoke a little bit about it, but give me an idea as to what the mission is and who else you have involved. I know you have a number of, besides yourself, some additional celebrities who are, spokespeople or certainly advocates of it. Give us an idea as to the organization and where you see the organization.
Our mission is to enrich the lives of children growing up in foster care. So, our signature program is the camp, but we enrich in all ways. And our goal is to take the kids from the very early ages and continue with them through them aging out. That will be our last step. We're at a place now where we're we have 5 existing camps. One is our original Camp Felix, which is a 3-week program. Then we have a 1-week teen boy, a 1-week teen girl, and 1 week in LA, boy and girl. And this year we're beginning a new camp, which will be for 1 week, and it'll be LGBTQ plus kids in foster care who have no representation at all. So that is in Connecticut, and we're excited about that. The people that helped us start were a lot of people that we knew in entertainment, or we had dear friends.
The father of Felix. Michael Lang.
Michael Lang. We had dear friends who aren't with us anymore. Penny Marshall was a big supporter of ours, and Michael was everything to us. He was our rock, our North Star. He was the voice of reason when we needed it. He guided us, and he's
the guy. Look, if you can start Woodstock and make it happen, then he was the guy that. He's the reason why Felix is so stable right now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Do what he did. If he could start Woodstock, then we knew he was going to be successful having Michael on board.
We miss him, and we will continue to miss him. And we're going to honor him at our event on May 15th.
That's right.
So we have people like Mark Wahlberg believes in us. He helped us get started, and his foundation donates to us. And
Dan, hold up. Can I add to that? It's funny, Dan. I remember when me and Sheila started out on the mission, we got Michael. So Sheila's like, I'm going to call my friend Mark Wahlberg. So remember, Sheila, we was at dinner, and Mark was like, Sheila, stop effing lying to me. You ain't sitting here with no
You're not with
like,
Darryl McDaniels. I went, I am here.
She put me on the phone with it. It was blown away.
We have somebody on our board who refers to Darryl and I. Darryl, I don't even know if you know this. She says, you are the Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg of charities.
Yep, exactly.
It's an unlikely parent.
Exactly. It's like, what the hell? It's like, what the hell are you doing with DMC?
And we have and Lorraine Bracco is
Lorraine is amazing
there since the beginning, and is a big advocate, and people along the way have always helped us, like Rosie Perez. A lot of these people we know through our lives in our the entertainment, so we're fortunate that way. But, there are many people like Amanda came to us through Michael Lang. She's the best executive director. Darryl and I think of Felix as our child. And if we had to give our child up to anyone, because we ran it ourselves for the first few years, we tried an executive director, it didn't work out. We were nervous, apprehensive. Who's going to take our baby? And Michael Lang told us, go with Amanda. And he was so right. And she has just been somebody.
Oh, that's terrific. Yeah.
Oh my God, she's unbelievable. She understands, and we're all supportive of each other. There's no, a lot of charities, a lot of boards. You know how it gets. Like egos get involved, and we
no egos, and it's
the kids are first.
We sit around and just plan. We sit around and plan the family trip together. It makes it so much easier.
No, that is amazing. Yeah.
You get the blankets, you make the sandwiches, you bring this, you gas up the car, and then we just go.
That's amazing. And it's so impactful what you guys are doing. So I know you have the walkathon that's coming up May 15th. And, we encourage all the audience here to participate in the walkathon by going downtown, right?
Yes,
not in the Bronx. It's going to be down somewhere in Manhattan. I'll be there. I think the team's going to be there. So you're trying to raise money, certainly try to raise awareness. Maybe you could give us a few of the details of the walkathon. Oh, and by the way, I don't know who came up with the concept of Walk This Way, Darryl. It sounds very, very familiar to me.
Very,
in the
very
Run-D.M.C. days. It's got to be the best video I've ever seen in my life.
We got to shout out to Aerosmith.
I think so.
We got to, because they let us use their song. We got to shout out to the producer of Walk This Way.
Yeah.
We got to shout out to Dan Aykroyd. We got to shout out to everybody. We got to shout out to all the crew from The Sopranos who support us.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, everybody loves working with Felix because it's not a paparazzi event. It's not, get the news people here. It's just people doing something for people. But we should get Amanda in because I got to go and do this other interview.
Oh,
can we bring Amanda in to?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry that we're over.
Great segue.
No, you're good. You're good.
Wait, Darryl, I have another segue. We have to do a few other things too before you go. Number one is I wanted to chat a few minutes about your book, which I love, by the way. I read it myself. I read it to my nephew. And I know now that you grew up at least part of your life in Hollis, Queens, and I lived in Hollis, Queens too.
Yes.
I'm all over the place.
You've been everywhere.
I'm sorry. So, Amanda, how are you?
Okay. Hi, Dan. Hi, guys.
All right.
How's it going?
All right. I can tell you about the book real quick before I go.
I'm sorry.
Before I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I go, the book basically came about when I'm not touring or I'm not at a Comic Con, because I also started a comic book company because before music, before hip hop and rock and roll, it was all comic books for me. So as a little kid growing up, basically, Dan, I got teased, bullied, and picked on. I wore glasses. I was a good student. I obeyed my parents. I was just a nice kid. So I was uncool because I wasn't doing anything negative. And Darryl's dream is basically every child has a dream, but the purpose of the book is to tell all children, regardless of what the bullies say.
Yeah.
Because bullying and self-esteem and getting teased for being who you are is like, it affects every generation. But even now, because of social media, it's been multiplied. So Darryl's dream is basically to tell all children two things. You are perfect just the way you are, regardless of what anybody says. And because you are who you are, those are the things that will allow you to succeed. I got teased, bullied, and picked on. I was a straight A student who wore glasses, and I was a geeky nerd. But because of that, those good things about me, those good positive things about me, allowed me to become the mighty king of rock, not just a rapper, but the king of all rappers in the universe. So I wrote Darryl's book so that they could see themselves.
Yeah. And, that's the message. That's the message that comes through. There are tidbits in that book which are really remarkable. So I'd suggest you get little tidbits and then you blast them out because they're absolutely priceless.
And you know what's funny, Dan? Grown-ups who get the book say, Darryl, I'm reading this every day before I go out the door to work. So it's an inspiration, motivational thing that no matter how old you are, no matter what situations you're facing, you can do it, just like you said. But I gotta run. I gotta go do this next interview.
I got you.
Amanda, you could take it over from here. Dan, I'll see you at the walk.
Yeah, listen, thank you so much, Darryl.
Bye,
I really appreciate everything that you're doing. And Sheila, you're the best. You guys both come from New York City. And among us, we lived in every borough, probably worked in every borough. But listen, all the best to you. Whatever we can do, ImpactWayv, through the podcast or through the social media network, to help your charity going forward, we would like to do that.
And
so
let me know what I could do for y'all, whatever.
Terrific. We'd like to assist and support you.
Inspiration is a two-way street, whatever y'all need to.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much. And we'll speak to you soon. I hope you come back.
Thank you. I will.
All right, guys. And Amanda, thank you so much for everything.
Oh, thank you, Dan. We're so excited to be working with ImpactWayv, and we're excited your team is coming out to walk this way with us and providing some videography to memorialize the event. So so grateful to know you and your team. They've been.
Can we just give a quick where, when, and?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I think it's a good idea, Sheila. Thank you. Please.
Yeah, we call everything we do, we call This Way because of Darryl, and we finally got it right. Walk this way. We've done Eat This Way, Own This Way, Dance This Way. It's like, duh, the pandemic let us walk this way because we couldn't doors.
Exactly.
So Amanda, I'm going to leave it to you to give the details.
And, let's get the details out.
Okay, so May is National Foster Care Month. So our event is May 15th. It's a Sunday. It's going to be downtown New York City, Hudson River Park, which is all the way on the west side of Manhattan. and the cross street is Christopher Street. We're going to be on Pier 45, and we're doing a walk. So people will walk a 5K and then come back and have a great picnic after party on the pier with food, music, entertainment, singers. And as we mentioned before, we'll be honoring Michael Lang, our board member.
Oh, that's amazing.
Away. His family will actually be on hand to accept the award on his behalf. And his son, who's a rising singer-songwriter, will be performing. It's going to be just a great day, great food, great people. You can learn more at walkthiswayforkids.org. So that's walkthisway.org. And it's a crowd-funded event. So people are signing up a team, reaching out to friends and family to sponsor them. And all the money is going towards our Camp Felix program, as well as our year-round enrichment support and programs for kids in foster care. So come and join us. It's going to be such a great day.
Amanda, that sounds terrific. And as I said before, we encourage all of our audience and listeners and everyone on the Impact social media network and platform to join together. Let's all meet down there, and we'll have a great day in celebration of all the wonderful work of Sheila, Darryl, as well as the organization, the Felix Organization. Thank you ever so much. And let's keep in contact, and I'd love to do this again.
Oh, thank you so much. And I applaud you for what you're doing. I love this whole idea of the Impact This Way, instead of just, social media typing things. This is really great. So,
all right, guys. Wonderful talking to you. Have a great day. Great weekend.
You too. Thank you so much, Dan. Bye.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Amanda, that was terrific.